Hi, Charlie Kosorek here with Jack Bench Woodworking again. And today I wanted to show you about a revision, a new, even better idea that Andy's come up with for these four-way parallel panel clamps that he designed. I'm sure most of you have seen the video that I did and the one corresponding video that Andy did about these. If you haven't, then please, I've got some annotations hopefully on the screen here and some links in the description below. Take a look at those videos if you haven't seen them already. And if you have, then you know that Andy, of course, Andy's a brilliant guy. I don't know how he comes up with so many great ideas. I guess he's just smart. Anyway, anyway, as you know, that he came up with this idea with sort of a revised parallel clamp that would be able to put force down across the top of a panel at the same time it forces pressure in as a regular clamp and can be used as a regular clamp as well. Anyway, Andy put the video out, very well received. Thank you so much for the tremendous positive comments and vote of confidence on these. And so anyway, he's got already a new and better revision on these. That he's got a video that explains it. Basically what he did though is he's eliminated this adjustment wheel here. You'd have to adjust for how thick the board is, the panel is. And he's modified the end, so instead of having this big gap in this hook kind of thing, it's just a regular, basically a regular parallel clamp with a little slot the same width as the bar itself. So it looks much more like a regular parallel clamp. It would obviously be cheaper to manufacture, less expensive to buy. And I could see a possibility of it being a retrofit where you could take the design that he's come up with and retrofit your old clamps. This is all dependent, of course, on whether a manufacturer, a retailer, or somebody actually picks up on this and makes them available to regular woodworkers like you and me. Andy sent me the SketchUp file on this, and I looked at it, and you can look at it yourself here. Okay, so here is the new design, the SketchUp file that Andy sent me, and you can see right here that the adjustment screw is gone and the wheel or the roller is permanently fixed here in the same spot. And on the other end of the clamp, the corresponding end, there's a ramp that's just built right in there. It's instead of having the hook, there's a ramp. And then if you look at the file, the picture this way, if you remember, the previous clamps had a big hook that went around the corresponding or opposing end of the opposite clamp, and this one doesn't do that. It just has this little slot here. So when you put the clamps together, then select, you put the clamps together, they'll come up like this, and then as you tighten them, they're forced up the ramp like that and forces the pressure down onto the panel just like the previous design. It's pretty amazing. It has the exact same function without that extra mechanism in there. So it's pretty cool. Pretty darn cool, I think. So I looked at that and I thought, my initial thought was that ramp looks awfully steep compared to what we've had before, and I don't know how much are we really going to get the mechanical advantage and exert the pressure down on the face of the panel like we did with the original design. So I brought these into my shop here and I says, okay, well, what if I left the adjustment on this existing design set at 3/4 of an inch where it was originally, and I put a thicker panel in, and my reasoning is what I wanted to do, and I'll show you over on this side here, is I wanted to change the effective angle that the roller meets the end of the clamp. So originally when you have this set here, it's the thinner, put on a thinner board, the roller would meet the clamp way down here, the end of the clamp way down here. So the effective angle on it would be you know, something like this. And that's, you know, allows, you can see the effective angle that the roller meets the clamp is fairly shallow here, and you can see how it would have a lot of mechanical advantage. Well, with the new design, the effective angle is steeper. So by putting this board in here, I've changed the effective angle that the roller meets the end of the clamp to probably more like this, whatever angle that is. And obviously that's less than that much angle. So sort of simulates the design, the new design. Okay, so does it work? And so I want to see how much pressure do we exert on the panel with that ramp angle, we'll call it. So I came in the shop, and with this extra board on here, like I said, you got a different angle. I'll just try tightening down on it. And wow, it sure seems to work. And you can see along here, it is perfectly flat along. There's not a gap in there. Like my old sheet of paper test. But I think there's actually variances in the board itself more so than but it's perfectly flat. Okay, so previously, when I did this, my previous video, I put a little piece of mahogany in there to concentrate the pressure that would normally be evenly spread across the panel. By putting a piece of mahogany in here, I concentrated that force onto one spot, and I kind of basement test to see how much pressure I get, and the result is, how much of a dent does it put in that piece of mahogany, if any. So I've tried this, and yeah, I mean, obviously it holds there's enough downward pressure just by this thing it's stuck in there. It won't go anywhere. But how close is it? How does it compare is the word I'm looking for. How does that compare to the previous ramp angle that we used? So I'll put a piece of mahogany under here, and you can see now it wants to teeter-totter on me, so I have to come on, teeter. This isn't quite a real world example, because you would never have that much of a gap on your panel that you were trying to glue up. But let's see what happens here. So obviously there's a lot of pressure. I can see it from here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sure it's not obvious in the video, but lots of pressure on that, concentrated on that one little piece of mahogany. I don't know, I didn't crank this as hard as I could. I cranked it down, reasonably hard, not terribly hard. So let's see if it left any kind of a dent in the little test piece that we've got here. All right, wow, yes, it absolutely did. So I will hold this up to the camera like I did last time. You can see, yes, it did dent the mahogany. No, it's not as much of a dent as there was in the one last time, but there is plenty of force. There is plenty of force being exerted down onto the panel with the new design. So I think the new design is a hit. I thought the previous design was a home run. This is a triple play. It's great. I personally am very impressed, and I hope you are too, because it's an impressive design that Andy's got here. So Again, as with the last one, if you like this, if you think it's cool, you'd like to hopefully see this out in the market someday, as I would, then we need a retailer or a manufacturer or somebody to pick up on this and get it out to market. And that's the best way that I can think of for that to happen is if we make a little noise and other people see this and you know, people get excited about it. So please share this video with your friends, and go ahead and obviously please go watch Andy's corresponding video on this. He probably explains it, well, probably. I'm sure he explains it better than I do. And please subscribe to the Jack Bench channel. You're doing me a tremendous help if you do. And beyond that, and I want to have some cool things coming out here in the very near future, some interesting kind of things that I have planned. So that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching.